What victims don't get is we got to get together. And I hope that Tara Reade gets this message that you are not going through this alone. You cannot think for 1 second that you're the only one that's ever been a victim of the Washington inner circle or sexual assaults. There have been so many sexual assaults that don't get reported. And there are assaults going on in law enforcement. See, what happened to Tara Reade is called constructive discharge. She got fired. See what I mean? In Pennsylvania, it is a Supreme Court decision in the state of Pennsylvania that if you were to get fired over being sexually assaulted, meaning you, the victim, were penalized. It's called constructive discharge. See, when I was listening to Megyn Kelly interview Tara Reade, see, it was obvious that she was a victim of that very type of case. Typically, common sense would tell you that a victim would report it, right? Not always. In fact, most of the time the victim is incoherent, unable to report it. It would be up to someone who witnessed it. Like, nowadays, when we talk about sexual assault, it can happen in the backyard, it can happen in a closed area. I just want to tell you that, for the most part, that is a case of constructive discharge. I don't know about the retroactive, if it's, how the legalese, there's a lot of legalese going on. The bottom line is, when somebody steals or threatens or assaults you, you're a victim. You're a victim, whether you want to be or not. Let me get into this a little bit more about growing up with bullies. You could grow up with bullies in your house. You could grow up with bullies in your school district, in your neighborhood. I know a lot of people at Seneca Valley, where I used to go to school, Keystone Oaks, who've been victims and survivors of bullies. They're still surviving the bullies that attacked them when they were little. I mean, it takes the rest of your life. So whenever I introduce Care Bear therapy, or the Care Bears, or the therapy bears, you see what I'm saying. It's been going on since I was little, Children are resilient. That doesn't mean that they bounce back. They have a very good memory. If you've been a child victim and you're now an adult, you remember abuse. It is very hard to forget it. So when I do replacement therapy for hormones, that's like replacing the vitamins that are lost in supplements, the sound frequency therapy acts in the same way. As it gives you a soothing, calming, relaxed way to breathe and to get back into conditioning the mind to be positive. Because of such a horrific experience, that there's therapies and there's PhDs and there's doctors that work with victims of abuse, forensic experts that would help. So somebody like in Tara Reade's situation should get forensic experts support and help. Detectives help, believe me. They do massive educational studies on victims of violent crime. So, you've been a victim of violent crime. I mean, the fact that she was pinned up against the wall and penetrated, that was just hard to listen to. I couldn't listen to the rest of the interview, so that I'm telling Terry, it's a very powerful ordeal to have walked away. I went to bed after listening to the interview, and I just had this sketchy vision of her running for her life. I'm so deeply troubled by what she went through, and I'm so sorry, Tara, that anyone in that position of authority has ever hurt you. There's things going on in Washington, and there are bullies. And they know how to keep people to shut up. They know how to back people in the corner. Look what happened to Michael Flynn. They're bullies. That's the only way to describe them. When bullies pin people back into a corner, and in this case, Tara Reade was literally pinned against the wall. That's horrible. That's horrible. I really think the Democrat Party's got a lot to answer for. A lot more to answer for than you think. And I'm going to tell you, there are police officers, detectives, thousands and thousands of people watching. And we are fed up with the type of bully tactics and psychological warfare that is being placed on people like this. There have been incidents where children have been taken from their family as a form of fracturing children. It is a crime. It's a crime. And it's going to stop. More people are going to get mad and they're going to start sharing these posts and they're going to feel the anger. Because we are sick of it. We're sick and tired of the psychological warfare that's being done on children and families. And advocates are going to stand up. And they're going to have enough of the media that goes along with it. Thank you, Judge Jeanine Pirro. She's on my short list of things that I listen to, Judge Jeanine Pirro and Coach Dave TV and Doug Hagman. That's about it for now. I just want Tara Reade to know that it's called constructive discharge. That's what you went through. You got fired over it. That's what you need to know.